A 9-step procedure for harmonizing a melody. Can you think of any creative tasks that require a number of steps to be done in a logical procedure? One such activity could be building a house. When we think of building a house, we might immediately jump to thinking about what the rooms will look like, how we'll decorate them, what we'll use each room for, what furniture we'll put in. But these are the details. Before we can get to those details of how the final house will look, we need to think of the less glamorous parts, the big structure. So if we're going to build a house, the first thing we have to talk about is obtaining land. We need something that tells us the size and the shape of the building space. Okay, so we have to start from the big and work to the small. The next detail would be to develop a blueprint. We need to provide a plan for how we're going to use space and materials to create the house. Then after we have the blueprint and the land, building the frame of the house. This would just be all of the wood beams that outline the outer walls of the house, the floors and the roof. Once we have the frame of the house, we could section off the rooms and build inside walls. After we have the inside walls, we'd start filling out the structure with insulation and windows, staircases, things like that. After all the boundaries, the walls, and the outside parts of the house are in place, then we could start installing utilities like plumbing and electric, the things that make the house actually work. Once those big things are in place, we can go to the next specific thing, which would be the interiors, putting in carpets and walls. Once the carpets and walls are put in, then we can talk about putting in furniture and lighting and major appliances. Once those are done, we can review everything and then make fine adjustments, do the furnishing, do the decoration, until finally we can admire our house. So building a house goes from creating a big plan and going gradually to the more detailed things. Harmonizing a melody can be similar, and the process we're going to use is called Scorbich. Imagine that we have a friend who's going to help us, and her name is Scorbich. So, there are 9 steps. Step 1, K. Identify the key of your melody. Knowing whether it's a major or minor will guide you in the choice of available chords to use for your melody. S. Sing the melody. This opens your eyes and ears to the harmonic possibilities of your melody. C. Locate the cadences. Just like we need to build a frame of the house, the cadences provide boundary points for your melodies. Sometimes you might even want to compose the cadences first instead of going from the beginning to the end. Then, O, outline harmonies. Once we know where the cadence is, the donic, dominant, and the tonic, we know that we can look for the beginning of the phrase to prolong the tonic in some way, through inversions and secondary chords. R, identify Roman numerals for available chord choices for the melody. Think about what chords could go under each note in the melody. Once you know that, you have a Roman numeral and the cadences, you can compose the bass line, and you strive for contrary motion and oblique. The bass line, the soprano, is like giving the frame of the house. Once the soprano and the bass are in place, we can compose I, the inner voices, composing the alto and then the tenor for each chord. After we get all 4 voices, we can check for parallel voices and any voice leading errors and problems with spacing. Make sure that everything is good. Finally, H, hear your work. If a piano is available, play it on the piano. If the piano is not available, you should sing the voice parts. If the piano is available, you should also sing each voice part. Are there any unnecessary skips? Are the voice parts in a reasonable range? Are the voice parts smooth? So this will be our process. Now we will go and look at specific melodies and applying it to specific melodies.